Peace, everybody. How y'all doing out there in the Poetry Corner universe? Tonight, Poetry Corner Westside Connection. We up in the building tonight, right? Right, Dre?
Yes, sir. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We have Mr. James Coates. He's my poetry instructor on Saturdays at CLI alumni class. We have Mr. Jeffrey Sanders and Divine Timer. He's the Poetry Corner host of the show. And backstage, we have Q that's making this all happen for us. So, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves. Let us know anything you have going on, what you do, if you have any upcoming events or books coming out. So, just tell us about yourself and then bless us with a poem. So, we're going to start with James.
All righty. My name is James. I am a author, poet, and educator. I teach with CLI, as was mentioned. Upcoming shows next week, Wednesday, I will be at the famous World Stage in Leimert Park, featuring there. So check that out. And if you want to follow me, my Instagram is Mr. Loving Words. So I like to call myself the revolutionary romantic and bard of empathy, laureate of the lovers. So I guess I'll start with the poem out of my collection, Midnight and Mad Dreams, that dropped this August. This one is titled, We Love Eating What Is Soft. We love eating what is soft, therefore masculinity has to be hard, proven to break more than it builds, lest the fragileness of our vulnerability become discoverable. Recognized to be thick as eggshells, primed to be cracked. Our insecurities scrambled and eaten by cannibals with our faces. Without my armor, I am supple as wet newsprint, and words become swords that cut to the white meat. We are bred to be warriors. Destruction, our native tongue, eat or be eaten, the creed for the only language that survives time. We all die on the battlefield, the victors buried years later, sons groomed to take our places, cycles never ending, allegiances to this brotherhood never questioned. How much more needs to be confirmed to realize toxicity in our flesh is absorbed from the environment, making us sick, killing us faster than any pandemic. This trauma of the mind feel we avoid rather than try and diffuse. Our fists the only tools given to combat this war. Of course we paint the ground in blood. Afraid of our own shadows, we're quick to turn on ourselves, transform into floating corpses left to chum the waters, a feast for circling scavengers positioned to profit off our pain. Exile any trace elements of femininity. Understand difference equals deadly. Softness is a liability you must never show, so even warmth has to sound cold. Man up, the beloved put down and let you know you're not safe here, course correct or be swallowed. A reminder that if you don't fit the mold, we'll fillet your tender edges until masochism becomes your primary love language. We've turned affection into aggression, relationship into the place we bury bones and wonder why all we grow are skeletons. Tell me, how many legs need to be spread to prove what hangs between ours makes us men enough to settle down? We are taught death since birth, but never told why living matters, that bodies are not just bodies, numbered notches carved on bedposts left to become signs, hieroglyphic warnings as you've entered a burial tomb full of cursed ghosts. That is to say, lost souls haunt this final resting place in the spirits of men we wish to be, and yet will never live to become. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you so much for that piece.
All
And
right,
that's
now.
why he's the teacher.
Real shit
What's up,
right
brother?
there.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're doing our poems, let's everybody mute their mics. And next we're gonna go with Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, tell us what you have going on, if you have a book coming out, and then bless us with a piece.
Whoa. I do have a book published already. I'm working on 2, 3, and 4 all at the same time. I have my own show on DSR called Full Purpose Pens, and I also have another show on WBBN called the Boston Chronicles. And I am not a poet. I'm a voice for those who are afraid to speak. That's what I do. I am an educator, teacher, infused with wisdom and knowledge. And that's why I'm not a poet. I try to grow people. I try to, through my works, I try to educate people because a lot of my work is from things that I've seen, things that I've done over the 64 years that I've been on this planet. So a lot of it comes from experience, a lot of it coming from the things I've done. So, with that being said, I'm going to do this piece that I actually wrote walking down on Skid Row last year. It's called Avenues to Mars. Avenues to Mars is that place you think you might trick me into pursuing, that place where the mind is looking out its own smoke-filled room, chasing that white ghost to make believe that has you ignorant and confused. Then your mind attempts to turn me into a fool in such a discombobulated way. Not this day. That dollar got you doing sinful things, so you holler for a quarter at the same time, tell me you could bend your knees, trying to hustle me for $20, or you think life isn't tough. Going down on those rusty knees, head bobbing up and down for that next pull on that glass dick when your human earth is out of moral balance. Where you think you are unshakable, stuck in a kaleidoscope of psychedelic colors, mind whacked out, cracked out, unstable, always down on your knees, ass up, face down. Like lips puckered, head bouncing up and down, still sucking on that glass dick, looking for that next hit. Don't even have time to catch your breath. Trying to make a living cause that glass dick keep telling you that same lie daily. Doing the same thing, looking for a different result. Haven't you realized the insanity on your way down on the avenues to Mars? Constantly in a destabilized way. And then you mentally make yourself go on internalizing where you always wanted to go into your smoke induced thoughts propelled by that hunt for that next hit. Then you walk in and out that door without your moral virtue. Your smoke induced walking has you straight going into that other realm of self deception, mentally still defeated. Have your feet planted on that cold glass concrete. See, these are the things that exist in a world of self disrespected, and yet you accept it. Trapped in the ozone layer of a space zoo, facing the facts of being called shorty, bitch, and hoe. Have you Have you wanting to hit my next purple haze blunt? Filling your lungs with make believe, make you want to take yourself there. Is life fair? It's not. Life has you treating yourself like something that always you need to understand that drug abuse, that mental abuse, that sinful abuse is not love, it's self abuse. You're afraid of loving yourself, but you greet yourself in a drug induced coma, dressed up with codependency on your wayward journey to codependency, where you self pimp, shrink wrap your mind until you are no more than an emotionless, esteemless inhabitant in flight, and you beg to be rescued to that central strangeness. The next thing you know, that's that skimpy, toothless, bottomless bitch who begins to internalize it and become what? Nothing but self reduced to that point of the reason of self disrespect. See, time and space belong to you, but you used to be used and abused by it, manipulated by its internal intermittent data that told you you have no idea what you're doing. The fruit of self manipulation is your just reward, but reality has made you a collapsed rag picker scouting around for the odds and ends of your truer self. While you stuck on that glass dick and still trying to find that one last hit that might take you through that door you have been running from, to that one trail you can't get back to reality. But you keep taking that self-inflicted journey on the avenues to Mars. Open your eyes and see that you have been enslaved to the content of your own drug-induced black emotional attitude, nothing short of your own self-murder. That you have abandoned yourself from life by the betrayal of a mission of living life. On that avenue to Mars, see, you don't see me because that self-projection so plain to see. recede you into the distant individually paralyzed you in the setback of self, judged by the internal monologues of those functions significantly in double tendency. You see, that's that trip to Avenues tomorrow, and that's that piece.
Thank you so much for that,
All
Jeffrey.
That's a
right.
real. That's a real piece. You know, my degrees is in uh, uh, family practices and drug and alcohol and chemical dependency. So my internship, I spent a year down on Skid Row, and the things you see down there is incredible. And I mean, I've never, I've lived in the street for a number of years, and to see that, what I've seen down on Skid Row, really shook me. And I had to write about it. You know, I just had to. So
Yeah,
that was that piece.
Yeah, that's what's up.
yeah. Thank you so much for that piece.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Thank you. Next up, we have Jay. Jay, tell us about what you have going on, if you have any books out, any upcoming events, and then bless the mic.
Wow. My first book dropped, I want to say, March 14th. I really don't promote it within hours of releasing a book. My mother passed. So it's kind of like one of those things where you don't really, one of my proudest moments ended up being, one of the hardest days of my life. So, you know, as far as events, no, I do have my second book, a duet book, is actually getting ready to drop. It's at the publishers now. So it's titled Blackberry Molasses. It's actually a duet book with a fellow poet of mine. And man, it takes place, man. It has that Love Jones vibe to it. So, it's based on relationships, men and women just going back and forth. So other than that, this piece that I am going to spit is called Paralyzed, and it's actually written about my mother. Okay, one second. It's storming outside, and I'm just staring out the window, listening to the whistling wind, unable to tell which way it blows. A victim of unseen scars, lying still in the dark. Flames start from merely a spark. Love escapes from the smallest cracks. I wish there was a pill that could heal a heartbreak. The pain is too much to bear. See, pain either makes you cold hearted or very careful. I can't move, so I just lie here and I just stare. I hear everything around me screaming for help, but no one can find me. Echoes of my cries goes on for hours, looking for solace in silence. Who knew silence could be so loud? Drowning in my tears, suffocating, gasping for air. I'm just lying here, shifting through the ashes, trying to find salvation in a storm.
Thank you so much for that
Yeah, I'm
piece.
giving up for the J. Yeah,
He dropped. He must have got a phone call or something because his video just dropped out of
Okay.
nowhere. If somebody go until he come back.
So we're going to have Divine Timer bless our mic.
all right.
Tell us about yourself, what you have going on, any books coming out.
I'm a man that go by various names. King Atterbury that hosts the shows Monday nights, King and Queen's Quarters on the Epiphany Network, Radio Blog Talk. Also, Poetry Corner, Eastside Connection with my co-host Van Meadows, aka Poetic. Tuesday nights with Valerie Lorraine, my co-host. I host the Poetry Corner show, and I'm right here with you, Dre. The Westside Connection, and also I do King's Pop Up every other Thursday. and I am the author of 20 published books of poetry on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and everything. And you can find me on Instagram, King Atterbury Inc. So, ain't much to say. I'll jump right into this piece. This piece is called Rare Moment Seized. Can't wait, I gotta have it. I'm starving, feeding habits. Prayer's been answered, there's an opening in the planet. The bus won't rush and a cab won't make it. Application in a role for a job might get wasted. Trials and tribulations waiting to get demolished. My mind became peaceful, my baby is heartfelt. Sitting in silence as I receive a notification. Obligation to an occasion that's waiting, I'm now facing. Doing what I do within the skills that make me shield. My inner being so cool that my mood is kept still. I'm for real on the come up, basic with the layup. My scoring game has changed. I'm the sixth bench player. Defend my offense because of ills in society. No need to cry to me. I'm still trying to find me. Inconclusive, the devil pitching to these liars. Affirmation manifest through blessings without wires. King.
Thank you so much for that piece, King.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to go back to James. Bless the mic again for us, sir.
All right. So this next piece was like a homework assignment I got with Poetry University from my guy Black Chakra to do a rhyming, utilize like 4 different types of rhyming patterns in a piece. So this one's titled Paper Chaser. Tell me why money's been running from me. Thought it was good, but it's acting funny. Switched up on me. Pockets is scrawny. I'm trying to get back to a couple racks. Matter of fact, bubble up to 100 stacks. So everywhere I go, loot stay tucked like cash in a safe stay stuck. Ain't taking no more L's on payday. Stack it up till I reach a bill like Kanye. Right now, my dough isn't rising. No dreams of swimming in cream out on the horizon. God must can't hear me now like a over-rising. Me and the yen ain't been friends. Euros and pesos are both a no-go. Got a pocket full of dimes and no credit. Bet it all on the game of chance, and I'm starting to regret it. Trying to change my lane, but fame is nothing more than eyes. Bougie designer lies in disguise. Got to keep focus on the prize. Head up and toes down, stay grounded. Even when fake snakes be surrounded, not enough to keep it a buck. Team needs to be 1,000. Product of public housing, no financial literacy tools in schools. Just a litany of rules to fool. Streets teach, need it quick, hit a lick, easy to predict. We end up in a box, and I don't mean stadium suites. Funny how without cheese to spread around, the system calls foul. Throws a flag on the play. For rags, brothers die every day. Justice scales is heavy if you can't pay your way. Do not pass go, collect no dinero, head directly to jail. So many young sales and no sales with stories to tell. One wrong move and well, hell, you've won a life sentence. Judge don't believe in repentance. Mistakes are for the suburban affluent, cause bones talking, yours ain't fluent. Cash rules everything around me. So yeah, I want enough to make poverty a distant memory. Pull up on a foul chick in a foreign like, yo, remember me? Now here come the jealousy. Flash too much bacon. The boys get to taking. 9 to the dome for the Franklins. It's dangerous to shine in dark times. Watch these swine join enemy lines with revenge on their mind. It's done where I'm from, no. Savings in the bank, no. Gas in the tank, it's easy to fall prey. No matter how much your mama pray you stay safe. Dead precedents take precedence, make survival a rat race. Better to be a cat with a fat bag than a mouse being chased. Traded iron chains for gold rings, then history repeats again. Sooner or later, we all slaves to this paper, imagining penthouses and skyscrapers, desire influence like a majority whip. That's why the minorities whip luxury cars to rock the same shoes as stars, willing to risk life behind bars. I'm trying to give you a shot of truth in these bars. Nothing sweet about living with scars. The past may have been theirs, but the future is ours. Too many nights full of disappointment. Like walking into a home loan appointment with a 600 credit score paper. I need some more, enough to disappear my problems. Hunger pains in my belly, wishing the bread can resolve them. The pursuit of happiness is only met with sadness. It seems insane to wish for joy when every picture frame remains the same, signed with a permanent stain on our names. I'm trying to find an opportunity in this economy, but I doubt it. This monopoly be robbing me, catering by a little property, live fast and die young probably. No time to think about return. if I live long enough to be old and gray. Got too much struggle to muzzle in this dog-eat-dog world to worry about tomorrow, today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that piece.
All right. That's what's up, James. Word.
Yes.
Getting it in.
We're going to take it back to Jeffrey.
Let me see. I'm going to do this piece called Disenfranchised Through the Media Misinformation. A lot of y'all watch Fox News, NBC, ABC, CNN, you know. A lot of us don't know that the Central Intelligence Agency really, really runs the news, along with all the other information that they give. You really have to go, when you hear something, you really have to study it. Me, when I hear something on the news, I go from channel to channel, and then I go online and look it up and see how the stories on the news live TV, as opposed to the stories being written online. So this is that piece. Stooges and foolery. Novelty drivers dancing in crazy antics, slap happy foolery is timeless, delighting many over the past century. How can you have a fair-minded, intelligent discussion about issues of importance in America, about anything, period, if people are misinformed with basic and arguable facts? ABC is a big culprit, mixing some truth with blind and misinformation. Truth is stranger than fiction. Ask CNN. The behind-the-scenes machinations of big money and politics so well hidden, if people actually knew how things were really run, we would be quite literally have a second revolution. Most people who read this might have a hard time fathoming how an entire nation could be so well deceived. But it's really not that hard when you understand the inner workings of hierarchy of an overly reverent media in which we place our blind trust. As we paint the picture of Fox News, our faith in the media myth has all been our Achilles heel. We have been deceived by our media to such an extent, mostly because people are too trusting of our news system. They very naively believe that broadcasters and journalists would never lie to us, distrust us, work against us with devastating consequences, which are unknown to most. Don't believe it. Put down the TV remote and do some research on your own. Instead of being spoon-fed your news, the disinformation by CBS, this is not one of you who dares to write your honest opinion. And if you did, you know beforehand it would never appear in print. Truth never appears in the business journals or the business journalists who destroy the truth. To lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of great pictures and big money for a Superman story to sell his country and his race for daily bread. The CIA made its own foray into news control to infiltrate the media with the idea to have select journalists parrot the official government line under the guise of natural patriotism, spewing whatever disinformation and propaganda that they could cash in on, and he who controls information can use the data for political gain and power and wealth. An insight how the government can make you believe the United States of America is broke through the news policy to manipulate the assets in order to plant disinformation in the United States of America. Killing innocent people and justify killing blacks and call it justifiable homicide. Just be aware, this is just one side of the story. Many more that have yet to be published. Make no mistake about it. A deviation is still alive and operating in our media system, and the media continues to mislead the public on everything and anything that those pulling the strings wish the paid media puppets sell us. These complicit, homogenized, neutered, spineless industry giants have simply disenfranchised the whole world, and the whole world knows. Who the hell do you think you fooling? And that's that piece.
Thank you so much for that
Right, man.
piece.
That's what's up.
So everybody out there listening, like and subscribe to the Poetry Channel. It's every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're gonna go. And Jay, bless our mic one more time.
Man, black coffee. See, I'm preparing for a funeral. My insecurities just passed away. Now, should I bury them or just throw them away? How about I just tie them to a center block and just drop them at the bottom of the lake? Walk away saying to myself, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. See, I'm all natural, uncut dope, black king, kicking down doors that was once closed to me, embracing the skin that I'm in. My cloth is made of melanin, still being judged because I'm black, but I refuse to let that hold me back. Black excellent is excellent. It's elegant. It's intelligent. It sets the precedent. Everything that's black get copied. Why do you think when we drive we get pulled over black? Black is the new black. As a matter of fact, I'm blacker than you, black. Black is my roots. Check the ancestry. Look at the tree sap dripping down my back. See, I used to let my skin tone bother me because growing up in my neighborhood, light skinned bees got all the honey. Some must condemn us for our race just because of the darker face. Black face wearing black face. You can kiss my black ass with your black face. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Oh man, it's the blacker the berry. Well, hell, I'm blacker than a motherfucker too. I went to sleep black, woke up black, woke up to a black dream, so I could wake up this morning and get a world a cup of this black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's that piece.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much
man.
for that piece.
Yeah,
Black.
that's what's up. Like that piece. Yeah.
Okay, we gotta go back to James. Bless our mic again.
We're not going divine?
We mix it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna go with this one. Friend of mine goes by the name Dark Man Blues. Uh, he has this line that goes, "She is a love poem and didn't know it." Um, and so that inspired this piece. It's titled "My Love Poem." She is a love poem and didn't know it. So I wrote her down in this one with this tongue, learned from her inspiration. I want to write her a memory, a feeling to carry with me when the world becomes too large to hold my soul. She is the expression on my face, the lessons in my failure, the blessings to my prayers. She is poetry. I need the feeling of my pen gliding across her skin, smooth and soft as linen, open and ready to listen to whatever emotions fall out. I fall night after night in between her sheets. I come night after night to release imagination's gift, thoughts I fear sharing with anyone else. She holds them for me in her safety. I question, could I be in love with poetry? She is poetry. I found myself lost in her embrace, a taste of silent perfection. The quiet says so much. Inhale, wait for it, exhale. No need to speak what the body already knows. When the time is right, the words will flow, flooding out, and she receives them. From my core to her core, we are bound by something greater than fate, by choice, to lay in the present and create a moment on the smallest of butterfly kisses, angel eyelashes that ripple into space and the great beyond. For she is my breath, and I did not know it. I was all flesh and bone, born to love with no place to hold it. Till under candlelight's gaze she whispers, hold my spine in your palm, spread me open like a notebook, and pour poetry into me forever. She is a love poem, my love poem.
That was really
Right.
nice. Thank you so
Talk
much
that
for
talk,
that
man. Talk
piece.
that talk. That's what's
Yes.
up.
Okay. I'm
Man,
good.
that poem right there, you could just that one poem right there could offshoot 5 or 6 more poems. She was a love poem and didn't even know it. Wow, I dig that. I like that. Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to share a piece. I am Miss Drea the poet. I am a writer, author, poet, chef, mother, and an awesome friend. Um, my piece is called Devastatingly Beautiful. He stood 6 feet, 3 inches, broad shoulders, dark chocolate skin, perfect eyebrows, his lips honey kissed, medium built, deep sensual voice. When he spoke, it made me moist. In depth conversations, relating, sharing dreams, team. He is a well sculptured piece of art in human form. Chiseled chest, biceps, six pack intact. He is the epitome of black. Full lips, wide nose, strong, a place called home. I continue to reminisce. Images of you laying next to me. I hear your voice. I feel your touch. Your sensual, luscious lips collides with mine. When I close my eyes, I feel you beside me. I can almost smell you, taste you. I want to escape into you. I want your hands all over me. My tongue massages your neck and relieves all of your aches and stress. I'll fall asleep thinking of you. You fall into my dreams. I awake with you still on my mind, wanting to feel you in between my thighs. I'm craving to be tasted by your tongue. Come home. And that is that piece.
Ooh. All right, Miss Drea.
Miss
Next.
Drea. Miss
Yes.
Drea. You still in California?
Yes, I'm in California.
I'm coming up to the city. I think Saturday or Sunday from San Diego. I'm coming up into the city. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up when I get into the city. And
Okay, next up, we're going to have Jay Bless our mic and then Divine Timer.
Let me see what I got. I'm just gonna go through the gauntlet, y'all. Give me a second. 1 second. Okay. All right.
going to the
Got,
barnyard. I do that sometimes.
got it. Got it. Paper airplanes. For every song that I sing, you are the melody. For you are the high notes that races across the atmosphere in falsetto. A dream catcher, capturing every thought and desire to make me better. I shot my shot in your DMs just to see. From strangers, lots of talks and texts to future calls to be. Through talks and texts, trying to see if we can get from point A to B. My XYZ across the board. The alphabet, your love language calls to me. Writing you letters just to never mail them. They sit in a shoebox on a loose board just below the bedroom floor covered by a rug. Loving you blind, trying to find my way through the wilderness. A love written in braille as my heart feels a way around your universe. I want to love you in breath, inhaling your pheromones and then exhale. Taste of honey graze my lips. When your name rolls off my tongue, your sweet name I speak. Hmm. Sitting in my sitting in a stuck daze. I'm in the craze of love, loving you for days. Finally crossing the threshold that love separates us. Through an open window, I feel the wind gust. I roll back the crack in the open up the board and grab the shoebox beneath the bedroom floor. And I roll back that rug and I take each letter one by one, folding them, giving them wings, and then I lunch. The love for you that I wrote about daily, now soaring across my windowsill as I sit on the side of the bed, patiently waiting, hoping that they finally make it, praying that all my letters get to you. I'll spend the rest of my days lost in the craze of love for you, sending these paper airplanes to the moon. That's my piece.
Thank you so much for that piece.
All
Up
That
right.
next,
last line, that
So,
last line, that airplane to the moon. I like that. That's beautiful. Yes, sir.
up next we have Divine Timer.
all right, thank you for the mic. This piece I titled Only Natural. You said I couldn't have you, but here's a question that I ask you. What does it take to move your spirit to align with mine? Is it the words that I speak that I place action behind, or the little things that I do when I am exploring your mind? May I whisper in your ear something to clear the air? Can I bring you to a place that I kept secret far but near? It's the personality of the fondest honest thoughts, sent from a true and living heart that only wish to start. While I look inside your eyes and smile hard just because what it isn't became a different type of love after a buzz. An idea can appear from what's expressed beyond the chest. A beautiful union can be formed with happiness when souls connect, with no expectation high. I only want a piece of you. First the mental, then the physical. If we bond, that's passion fruit. As one, we become the meaning of fun when we begin. Start as friends and then begin a relationship that can win. King.
Great piece, King.
Thank you.
I'm through, dope poet. Next up, we're going to have Jeffrey. Bless her mic again.
Pour little me again. All right. I ain't no title to this piece. Understanding specific trade or verbal skills, the facts and feelings expressed, I'm not all good at. But good at articulation, verbalization is the act of transferring information through verbal messages, written word with ink to paper. Various forms of verbal communication represented by specializations of the skill and application of word sense of instruction in the verbal and nonverbal behavior. An important factor examined together with the application of communication. Active, effective was written and verbal skills is voiced to the people. A certain willingness to perform the duties of the trade, written stimulus inadequate to call forth specifications of noun, verbs, and words, oral communication focused on preservation of the knowledge of the craft. No trade offs, no compromises, but to lead and guide understanding and incoming communication like bombs dropped on Pearl Harbor, in which you listen to a person to understand their meaning by reflecting back on those skills are the ones most prized. What do I have that I can trade that is a lesser value to me and of a higher fact of feelings expressed? Oops, excuse me. The voice of the people. The elements of ability, a certain willingness to perform the duties of the trade, written stimulus like the knowledge. No trade-offs, but the meaning of reflecting back from the mind. Without all that, without it every day, when transferring abstract thoughts into spoken word, listening is equally important skill for the type of communications one spoken word cannot be retracted. Although one can apologize, and I apologize if my words, verbs, and broken sentences hurt your feeling, but I'm not going to say I'm sorry. Freedom of speech, baby. My existence of my W's, A's, and C's from my first keystroke to the ink to paper. I represent language and emotions through the inscription of complements to speech and a spoken language, better yet, mental word processors. My thoughts stand alone, like a book set, written, printed, illustrated, sometimes blank sheets of ghost words. And metaphors to ink and paper understand the specific trade of verbal skill. The facts and feelings expressed, I'm not at all good at. In peace.
Thank you so much for that piece.
All right, Jeff. That's what's up.
Yes. Next up,
Yeah.
we're going to pass the mic back to James.
All right. This one is titled How to Raise a Boy. I wanted to give you all I had and everything I didn't. That is to say, healthy love, a father's love, daily encouragement, affirmations of your potential, support for your dreams. Share words that sink concrete foundations, the ideas of inherent worthiness in the pursuit of your heart's desire. But I had no clue what it sounded like. The messages stumble and fumble out of a clumsy mouth. Tripping tongue speaks in what feels like a fraudulent voice, someone else's speech pattern. I never learned how to believe the sweet language for myself. I don't know who I was trying to convince of its truth, you or me. So I did what I saw growing up, gave you what I know, showed up at your sports games, cheering louder than any other parent. I was there for all your back to school nights, for every parent teacher conference with promises that we'll figure it all out together. Bullies and bad grades, heartbreak and first dates. I cooked your favorite food for breakfast Sunday mornings and read books each night, even after you could do it yourself. We haven't seen eye to eye, especially as you've gotten closer to looking me in my eyes. But I wish my presence and character would be enough to set an example for you. That you would pick up some ethics by association, discover a sense of moral masculinity in me, that more than my DNA would rub off on you. Only time will tell if I failed or succeeded. What I know is I tried to be tough and gentle, hoping you would not become the rock or the window, but simply a reflection of yourself, God's miracle. The thing is, life never tells us how to raise a boy.
Great piece. Thank you
All
so
right,
much
now.
for blessing us with that piece.
What's up, James? Word. Definitely was dope.
Yes. Next up to the mic, we have Jay.
Still it. Lay you down in my universe. Baptize you in honey. Lick it off you before it starts running. It's a sticky situation. Where are you going? What's my name? Can you feel my point of view? Can you see what I'm trying to show you? You ever wonder what a dream could do? Do you ever get wet from the simple thought of me touching you? Do you flow like a river? Do you hold your breath and then once I enter, you release it? Your papaya fruit drinking from your fountain flows from you. Time doesn't exist in this realm. Your moans in the atmosphere sounds like a whispering yell, so soft and powerful, giving you a tongue view. Can you feel the storm as I perform this rain dance? Standing in the middle of your storm as I begin and start you to raining. Ask yourself a question. Have you ever had a session of love making? Do you want me? Have you ever been to heaven? Touching you in places that's never been touched before. And right when you think it's over, I touch some more. I'm so fortunate that what those before me didn't treasure became my fortune, lying here in the bed of this ocean. The stars align perfectly. The moon is pale and dimly lit. Down the stream we drift, smelling the aroma of lavender and crushed velvet. That's my piece.
Thank you so much for that
All right, man.
piece.
That's what's up, Jay. That was dope, yo.
Okay, I'm going to share another one. It's titled Paper Chaser. I don't work for money. Money works for me. When you think of money as a solution to all of your worries and fears and will do anything to get a dollar, you have lost in life. Don't misunderstand me. Money is vital, a vital part of survival. But the way you think about money as a win over anything and anyone, you've already lost. You are chasing the wrong thing. You can't nickel and dime a dream. You'll lose every time. It is important to edify who you are, your passion, your dream, your goal. Put it on paper. Write out a plan for the next steps. It will take you to succeed, fulfill your dream, take action. The money will eventually find you. Use a realistic approach. The dopest, most successful individuals started with a dream and a grateful heart. Don't allow your ego or pride to destroy your future. The if I'm not getting paid for it mentality is what stalls progression. Eventually, you may find some form of what you consider success, but you will never be remembered for the gift due to greed. Working at your full potential and teaching our next generation how to manifest wealth and succeed in the mind, body, and spirit. This practice is important because if you see yourself as wealthy before you actually have obtained wealth physically, you've already won. Build a solid team, people who have a similar dreams, ones that have your best interests at heart. Have discernment, know who to trust. Jealousy and envy grows very quickly. Know your circle. Study the signs, ins and out of business. You decide. Embark upon your journey, be teachable. In order to be a teacher, you have to be a student. But always make sure you're following the right passion, the right people. Motivate and encourage your team. A strong leader knows themselves and knows how to treat others with dignity and respect. Show gratitude, be patient, be open to new ideas. Nurture your talents. Paper chasing. And that's my piece.
All right, now. That's what's up. What's up? I have a
Next up,
question for the
yes.
guests. All right. I'm going to start off with James. How do you feel about art imitating life or life imitating art?
Um, I say poetry is uh, the voice of the universe spoken through the human experience. Um, so to me, they influence each other. Like if if I'm not inspired to write, then I know I got to get out there and do more activities. Whether it's just go take a nice walk, or hang out with some friends, or go to a gallery, something like that, because I know I'm gonna be inspired by life itself when I'm out there. If I'm just sitting cooped up in the house in the bedroom trying to write, it's not. It's hard to come up with inspiration. So I think it's a huge part.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Appreciate that. All right. Jay, I have the same question for you.
Um, I'm gonna say for me, it's more of the life imitating art. I look at it as it's almost like storytelling in to a certain extent. Everything that we write about, everything that we put on paper is is what we've seen in life. I mean, we're nothing more than a sum total of our life experiences in the way that we see things. So when we write from a place of experience. We write from a place of um from our heart, and we just honestly we just tell stories with what we've seen in life.
All right, that's what's up. That's peace, man. You know, okay, Jeffrey.
You know, Jay took the words right out of my mouth, but I say it's a balance between both because ink is art. The human factor is art. And to make that story viable, the human factor and the written factor have to be in a balance. So the person hearing and the person listening and the person speaking can have a greater understanding of the written art and the human art. That's my take on it.
All right, that's what's up. Dre, how you feel about that?
I kind of think it equally balanced, like Jeffrey was saying. Well, I get inspired by a lot of different things. I could be anywhere and write a poem. Sometimes I be in my sleep when I think of something, and like I dream in color. So it's like a movie, and I just picture different things. So if I remember a lot of my dream, it's always something poetic about the way I dream now. So if I'm in a good positive space and I fall asleep to different things, I'm always creating like videos and watching something creative and then feeding off my team. So we always check in with each other, making sure we're reading every day, writing every day, coming up with some different poetry, making a piece together, just supporting each other. And it's something that I really love. And also like teaching the younger generation how to write instead of going out there reacting off of certain things. Put your pen to the paper, and just let it flow. And then you have something beautiful that comes out of it. I actually had a business meeting today with some of my team, and we were discussing like starting a poetry class for teenagers and young adults. And I remember I used to teach poetry in 2016 at group homes. And so this young lady wrote a poem, and I'm thinking it's about a relationship and how she's in love with this boy. And at the end, she's talking about drugs. Another girl's talking about suicide, same thing, and just to get to know their stories and how they feel and give them the release and something that they can eventually make a career out of is something beautiful, just the words. And it's like magic. I just always see different types of arts, just, magic come together. So that's how I feel about it. How about
Okay.
you, Divine Timing?
Me personally, I look at art imitating life because I feel like life is an experience, and even when they put things on TV, you know, they don't just come up with those ideas. That's just my perception, you know. So they have these things to reminisce to people about things that's going on in the real world. You know what I mean? So that's why they place it out there. You got people. I always say it like this: people might have a hallmark moment, happy ending or whatever. Then it might lead to disaster. That lifetime moment. I mean, nobody wants that lifetime moment. So they want the hallmark. But like Jeff said, there's a balance. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's how I look at life. You know. But creative side, I just take it where it need to go to. You know what I'm saying? Look to those islands as we all have and just see the world for what it is. Society is still breathing. So we out here.
So I actually have another question. So when you're writing, is it more about, do you have just one genre of writing or do you like mix it up? So we could start with you, James. Answer that question.
Uh, so like love, relationships, romance, like that. Like I would call myself like a romantic poet. Um, I consider that like my genre, but I'm so much of life is poetry, so I can't like be boxed into just writing about that. So I write a lot about social justice, about fatherhood, about um, uh, you know the experiences in the world around me. So um, yeah, this genre. I have my favorites, but I like to not be limited.
Thank you. Jeffrey, how about you?
Hmm. I write everything, anything from sacred energy to God to love making sensual to higher education, lower education streets. I am not stuck to one genre at all. Period. I'm
Okay.
like Mr. Coates. I'm like Mr. Coates. I can't be contained. You
Okay.
know, I've been I'm a big component of free speech, and I'm a big component against censorship. And I have a habit of saying what I'm gonna say, uncut, raw, and I have a habit of being cut off from Facebook many, many times. I have about 20 pages on Facebook, so they cut me off one. They I go to the next one, they cut me off that one, to go to the next. So they got smart. So when they cut me off one, they shut down all my pages at one time. And I'll come right back and I'll just say I don't give a damn. I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very big component of against censorship. So everybody say, well, why you let Facebook do you like that? I said, I can't do nothing about Facebook. Facebook is full of white people who have money being invested in there. And when they see something they don't like, well, then they're gonna cut you off because you don't have enough money. We don't have enough money to fight those white people, so they do what they do. And I just keep on doing what I do. They keep shutting me down. I just open up a new page and keep on pushing. I'm not gonna argue with them white people because I know I can't win against them. They got more money than me.
Okay, thank you. Jay, how about you?
I'm gonna quote DMX. DMX said, "I merely say what's in my heart, and you call it a style. Don't put it
Mm,
in a box. Don't mistreat it. You say you're hungry for knowledge. Well, here it is. Eat it.
mm.
I don't. I just write what's in my heart. I won't put it. I won't ever put it in a box. I, it could go with me. It could go in many directions. So I just write.
Okay, thank you for that. How about you, King?
Hey, they all answered everything right there. You know what I'm saying? So I agree fully. You know what I'm saying? Three-headed monster. You know what I'm saying? Of truth.
I know that you had a couple of pieces that you wrote, lady. That was like very, very good pieces about, just showing tribute to different, women and, love and appreciation.
Oh, you talking about the Neil Long piece and
Yes.
Cinder Williams? Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was,
you gotta give the folks their flowers. You know what I mean?
yes,
So that's what it's about.
they're here. So
Well,
lately, I don't know. I've been writing a lot about like love and relationships. And I write sometimes about like, different things with the youth. I just try to mix it up too. But when writing a book, I try to not stick to one genre, but in each chapter, just make it flow because I don't want to be jumping all around, the place or whatever. So at first, that was kind of difficult for me because I just write like what I'm feeling at the time, and I was just like, what's not flowing, So I really couldn't put it into one book. So I thought that question was important.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely, definitely.
I want to
Uh,
thank you, everybody, for being here. Can you guys start one by one, starting with James? Let everybody know where they can find you at, how to follow you, and then you can tell them a little about what you do at CLI.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook at my name, James Coates. You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Loving Words, Mr. spelled MrLovingWords. And yeah, so CLI, I teach co-teach the alumni class where we learn about how writers currently and of the past in poetry got their start, and what influences helped them become the big names that they were able to become in literature. And then we work on uh, looking at the poems and critiquing them and improving them so they can be ready for publication. So I love doing that. I also work with the school district, San Bernardino, helping the youth with creative expression, writing poems, making art, stuff like that. And yeah, get in contact with me if anyone's interested in doing creative work together.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Coates is a great instructor for our alumni class with Hiram Sims. If you want any more information about that and how to get published and create your book, you can reach out to him or Community Literature online at communitylit.org. Okay, Jay, tell us how to get in contact with you, any projects you have going on, and what would you like to see in the future with your work?
Ah, man, for me, I never really thought about it. I just wrote just to be writing, and it was everyone else that pushed for the books. It was everyone else that just said, "Hey, you know, you got a gift, you got a story to tell, and people want to hear it." So it was never my dream to even write. It was never my dream to even do this. However, I will say that I'm enjoying the ride. What Sometimes we are our biggest critics. You know what I mean? What I think is not so good, people think the world of, and so you have to take that when you're able to touch someone with your words that that you didn't think that was that good. I mean, you have to do something with it. You have to use that voice. You have to get that to the people that's looking for it, that actually needs it. I've had so many people say, "Well, man, that poem, that was my life. That was, you know what I mean? That was about me, and I didn't have a clue." So, um, you can find me on Facebook, Jay Walker, on Instagram, bars 5150. I don't like I said. I'm gonna start putting myself out there a little bit more. I've been kind of sheltered with it. I haven't really put myself out there as much. I don't do shows. I don't do anything like that. So, the people are speaking. So maybe I should listen a little bit more.
Yes.
Yes,
Got to
please.
share your gifts. Okay, Mr. Sanders, let us know what you have going on, how to
Okay.
find you on social media.
If I told you, if I tried to tell you all the pages that I have on social media, we'll be here for 25 minutes. Okay. The reality of it is if you want to find me on Facebook, on Instagram, Jeffrey100 on Instagram. If you just type in Jeffrey Sanders on Facebook, you will see all 20 of my pages. They are all in a row. Every first Tuesday of every month, I'm at WBBN, the Boston Chronicles, and every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, I'm at DSR 71.3 Fire Eat Work Network, the Full Purpose Pen. Those are my two shows. Um, I am currently in the process of building a podcast, but my co-host is not cooperating. So I'm trying to get her to cooperate. So to get this thing up off the ground so it'll be run smooth.
Okay.
And pretty much it.
Okay. I am Andrea Lee, Miss Drea the Poet. You can follow me at Miss.Drea underscore the poet on Instagram, or Ms. MZ.Drea the Poet on Instagram. I have several pages too. And on Facebook at Miss Drea the Poet. We're going to have King close us out with a poem. And then before that, King, tell us how we can find you, any upcoming projects. And guys, don't log off when the music start playing. Stay on, and we're going to talk to you guys after.
All right. You can find me on Facebook, Joel Washington Atterbury, or you can find me on Instagram, King Atterbury Inc. And I'm gonna close out with this poem called Riding High. Keep a diva on deck with the highest respect. Imagine King showing neglect. Nah, she know what she get. Without expectations, facing the truth in the world. JW favorite girl never turning the cheek. When we speak, there's no reach. It's all natural. Facts were compatible. No need to ask fools. Who know we don't show what is or what isn't. Position not forbidden, just passing the opposition. Keep everything a buck as we chill within ourselves. Our universe and world is a nice place to dwell. Matching each other's eyes, there's a vibe well alive. At any time, our drive will survive when hearts collide. Okay, so
Thank you so much for
definitely
that piece,
appreciate
King.
that. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight and entertaining us with your beautiful poetry. I'd like to thank the poetry people in the chat for coming through and supporting us. And remember, click like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you back next Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific. Did I say it right? You know, I
Yes.
get mixed up a lot. And 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I always say, peace, love, and poetry. We out.